I am powerful. I am powerful. Louder. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. I am powerful. Well, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Today I have a special guest. I know I always say special guest because they're all special, but she is in a space that I love very much. Valentina, welcome to the show and tell the world about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me, Julia. It's great to be here. Wow. I love that you love the space that we're in. That's exciting.
Business,
awesome conversation.
Business. I love it. Tell me about your company.
So Via Technology is my company and we're still fairly young. We've only been going for a few years. Myself and my husband run it. And what we do is we do digital transformation to allow companies to scale and grow faster. But the way that we do it, of course, everybody who has their own company says that they do it differently. But we like to think we do it differently.
And the best.
But it's true for us because although we do technology and technology is the symptom that everybody comes to us with, what we truly pay attention to is really the people and the process side of the triangle. So anyone who's familiar with project knows about people, process, and technology, right? That's very simple. We believe the majority of people in our industry focus so much on the tech, and so do CEOs because CEOs want results yesterday.
Yes. Or the day before.
So what we do when a customer comes to us is we do listen to the symptom that they come to us with, and then we take them through a journey of understanding that in order to execute the right technology, you have to first enable your leadership team to take the right decisions and engage your workforce. Without those two things, without understanding how your business works and the ability to take your people with you on that journey, you can buy the best technology in the world. It's not going to give you the uplift you need.
What type of businesses do you help?
Typically, we work a lot in people heavy and operational heavy spaces. So that means education. That means health, disability care, aged care. We do a lot in those spaces because they are very service and people heavy in terms of there's a lot of human interaction, but they are also very operationally complex. And that means you need the technology to support those business operation. And there's usually the separation between the tech doing its job and the humans doing their job. That's where the separation is the most present. And so this is where we can play the most to bring those two together.
Wow. You said you're young. How long have you been, if you don't mind me asking?
This particular business has been going for about 3 years, I think, 3.5.
That's not that young for a business, right? I mean, business
always a beginner.
Yes. And you say it's you and your husband, right? You're the one. You're the owner. How is that? I work with my wife too. We own a business together. It's definitely a character building experience to do so. But does it help you at all? I'm asking because that's happening a lot. I'm seeing that a lot now where husbands or wife are teaming up, which I think is excellent, right? The best team to do it. What can you tell a husband and wife that are wanting to get into this together? What's a good thing to give them a tip about?
It is certainly a self-awareness journey, just as much as having a business is. We were very fortunate in that we could test working together in a previous business that we were a part of, and we definitely made all the wrong choices there. So when we started this one, we said, okay, let's learn from what didn't work there. I think partnership is really the key here. Understanding that we specifically are different people. We think differently. We have different strengths, different weaknesses. They are almost entirely the opposite of each other. But understanding that if we work together, the picture I have in my mind is always a carriage with 2 horses, right? If you manage to make the horses run together, and maybe one is smaller and faster, so it has to run faster, like take smaller steps, and the other one is bigger and stronger, and so it can just plod along. But there's different strengths in each of us. And so approaching everything with the intentionality of being partners and seeing the value that the other person brings, especially when they frustrate us the most.
Yes. Yes, I know what you're saying. I like that answer. That was pretty cool. But it's the same as leadership, right? It's the same when you're leading an organization. That's what you're doing with everyone around you, right? The strengths, the weaknesses. Very good. I like what you said. That was such a good answer to it. I love it. Where are you guys from? Where are you now?
So right now we live in the east coast of Australia. Woo. North of Brisbane. But originally we come from a small town in Italy, northeast, near Venice.
Nice.
So we bring different cultures, I suppose. We moved to Australia 12 years ago, so it's a good mix. We love it.
And the services that you give, this is like online. How do you, what can a client expect if they go talk to you?
Look, we live in the technology world and we live in the post-COVID world. So we definitely do a lot of work online, but in line with our values and in line with, practicing what we teach everybody. We do like in person. So we do make an effort to go and visit our clients in person, whether we can drive or whether we can fly. Australia is very interesting in the sense that it's so big, everything is so far, so that taking a plane has become like taking a bus.
No, really? So there's a lot of local flights to get from...
Yeah. We're very fortunate. Yeah, we're very close to an airport. So I think the other day, probably 3 months ago, we took a $60 flight from Brisbane to Sydney. So
that's a vacation around here. That's awesome. That's amazing. So what would you say is the biggest problem the businesses you serve are facing, right?
The biggest problem, I would say that they present with a technology challenge. They present with inefficient operation. They present with all the technology we have doesn't support us. It then leads on to people-related problems. You could say high administrative costs because we need to hire 3 more individuals to do the job that we were expecting the tech to help us do. High staff turnover is another one we see a lot, in the sense that if the technology doesn't really help you and makes your life harder, a lot of the time that is mentioned in the exit interview. The tech is too hard, so we're leaving. And then you can move on to a little bit more intangible issues that we see. So, for example, siloed operations between teams in a business, leaders' inability to take informed decision because the data is not, they're not able to access the data that they need. Client dissatisfaction even, which is, of course, the ultimate
That's the biggest. Yeah, no. Yeah. They're in trouble. So I see. So I'm getting it. The man, you would think we would all catch up by now already, right? Technology, but it's ever changing. It's hard for a business and they're thinking about the cost of the technology at the same time. So yeah, it's a big problem. I like the challenges you face that you mentioned of it for your employees. Because they're frustrated with that technology. That what am I doing?
100%. And understandably so, right? Because typically, look, technology is very capable. We wouldn't be in this line of work if we didn't believe that technology is built to enhance what humans can do. The challenge is when leaders and software vendors as well sometimes just look at the technology platforms to be the answer, to be the silver bullet. So when the CEO thinks, I will buy this software and this will solve all my problems, or when the software vendor says, I will build this fabulous technology and put AI in it because AI is the hot topic right now and it'll be amazing and the people will come and they will use it. And there's just a link missing on how are we involving individuals in this? How are we involving the perspective of your people? How are we measuring and assessing whether this is the right fit for your company? Talk about a CRM. There is hundreds, if not thousands of CRM on the market for every size of business, for every industry. How do you know which one is the right one? This is what we are trying to educate our audiences about. It's not about the technology. It's about how that piece of technology fits your company and your people. So if you start from the tech, you're starting at the wrong end of the process. You've got to start at the other end.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, CRM. I do a lot of business consulting, but more opening a business. And that is like from entrepreneur to becoming a real fledged business. That's the sector I'm in. And the first thing I tell them is get a CRM. That is, it's like you have to. You lose so much. A lot of people, it takes a while to get them to understand that. Not understand it, like say, yeah, I am going to need it. But you lose whatever business you're in, you're going to lose data if it is not somewhere organized the way you need it. So I like that you said that. Yes. So let's talk about CRMs. It looks like.
Let's talk about CRMs.
Tell me more.
I think what you said just now is extremely interesting and extremely powerful. So I want to stay there for a second. When one starts a business, there's a bit of value in what I'm talking about today, but we also have an opinion that a young business is very powerful for not having strong processes yet and having the ability to pivot really quickly and listen to what the market and the customers are saying and the ability to move really quickly before really setting their own processes in stone, so to speak. They're never in stone, but a little bit more solid. So what I would say is, as a young business and as a coach supporting young businesses, definitely pick a CRM that has certain key elements that you know are needed for that phase of growth. Put it in place, use it, put good practices around it and good mindset around using it, and then leave it there to do its job, and then focus on other areas of your business. There's no point overthinking your technology and overthinking your processes at the beginning.
I really like that. You're a good answer. I really like that. Yeah, because it is, you're right. It's an opportunity at that moment. Now, look at what you need. Do it the right way. I love it. I love what you're saying. I currently have a mental health agency, right? And they don't call it a CRM, but it's a CRM. They just have a like hide. And I don't have the one everyone uses because it fits the team and how they're used to doing their notes and how they're used to following up. There's another one that's higher value for me as an administrator that makes everything easier, but then it'll leave a mess on the other side. So yeah, what you're saying is very valuable. So how do you help the client? Let's say I'm Mr. Client. How do we start this? What do we do?
Look, I think the first thing that we like to walk through everybody is see if we can get an understanding from the client at a high level. So the first thing that I would get everyone to do, and that's my recommendation, is understand how your business operates. Get clarity on the complexity of your business, because that will enable you as a business leader to take the next steps of the journey. So you need to be able to assess what is happening in your business. If it's brand new, you need to decide what is going to happen in your business. If it's an existing business, do a bit of a review and an assessment. What do we do and how do we do it? Then how do we measure it? So what do we do? How do we do it? We may provide, mental health care services, did you just say? So we provide mental health service. Okay, let's assess how does that happen? How does a client come to us? How do we respond to that? How do we onboard them? How do we book their first session? How do we keep in touch in between session? In the session, how do we connect? Is it online? Is it in person? How do we bill at the end of the session? How do we do payroll at the end of that? And then all of the admin backend for sure. They're a little bit different for everybody. But you mentioned notes. How do we take notes? Where do they sit? Who needs to read them? Who needs to access them? Those are all things that technology can help you do. But if you don't take the time to assess it first, you're just going to dive straight in and get it done, because there's an intentionality that we want to move fast. Every time you want to move fast, there's a reason for that. Probably a whole other podcast to talk about it, but slow down. There's no need to rush. Let's assess where we are.
Once
you've got that, essentially, we use a lot process mapping as a tool, but it's really about understanding the complexity of your business. Process mapping is a really good tool. It's very visual. Almost everybody understands. You've got the square, you've got the diamond, the arrow that connects all the different departments in a business. The key with process mapping is to keep it simple. So you're going to be, some individuals, me, I'm very detail oriented, are very tempted to put everything in a process map. But we click here and then we make a phone call and then we do this and then we do that. No, this is high level. What are the key steps? And then you want to understand how you measure success in those areas. So how do you measure, for example, you mentioned leads. What do you want to measure around the leads? How many do you have? How many you have a meeting with? How many go on to a face-to-face call? How many go on to sign a contract? And if you represent all of this, you then enable your leadership team or yourself as a business owner to go from operational chaos, I have no idea what's happening.
Operational chaos. I love that word. Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Saying some great words. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. You'd see a lot of that, right? I'm sure you're experiencing a lot of that too.
I'm going to tell you something. You really like this stuff, don't you? You're like the way you're talking about it. Like, I love all the questions you took me through as a client, and it shows the complexity of it, of course, because it could be complicated and not done organized, like you said. Why are you so into this stuff? I'm curious. I'm just curious.
Why am I so into this stuff? It's a very interesting question, Julia. Funnily enough, I had my mother visiting me recently, and we play. Okay, this is a bit of a multi-layered answer. With my husband, we're very much into personal growth and self-awareness. Nice. And there is this beautiful card game from a lady called Esther Perel. She's a psychotherapist, and she created this beautiful card game for couple or for friends. And there is some very deep questions. Essentially, you pick a card, there's a question on it, or there's a statement on it, I suppose, and you're supposed to tell a story about that. And a card came up a few months ago that said something along the lines of, what did your 5-year-old self do? What were you doing at 5 years old that would predict what you're doing today? And it really got me stumped because I have no idea. So when mom came to visit, I actually asked her that question. I said, hey, you actually
couldn't leave it alone.
You remember? And she did say something very interesting that I need to put some thinking into it, because she left only a couple of days ago. She said that at 5 years old was doing absolutely nothing that would lead to what I'm doing right now. She said I was very creative, I was very messy as a person, definitely not organized, definitely not than like I am right now. And so we had a conversation. What changed? When did it change? And she said it changed when I went to high school. So I am definitely going to put some thinking into that and see if I can remember what shaped. But she remembers very clearly that in the space of 3 months after starting high school, my room was neat and tidy, and I was very organized, and I was getting everywhere on time. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, there's something happened there that made you go.
Something happened. Yeah. Isn't it amazing how as children we're so free and so, I don't know,
that's
creative.
Good, what's the name of the card game?
The name of the card game is Where Do We Begin is the podcast. Let me just look it up. The lady is called, the psychotherapy is called Esther Perel, and her podcast is called Where Do We Begin? And the card game is called Where Should We Begin?
Ooh.
It's lovely.
I'm going to get it. I like it.
It makes for very interesting dinner parties, I will say that.
I can imagine, but I think it's great. It's asking yourself these questions. That's a great question. I asked that question a lot during coaching, and it's a really good question. Even if you don't know the answer, just looking back and trying to pinpoint it, it opens your mind up and fires up some 100%. Stuff there. 100%. What is your future like as far as this company? What do you envision?
So many things.
$30 trillion.
Don't we all? Look, for us right now, we're in a phase of solidifying. For the first couple of years, I would say, even last year, we've very much kept our mind and our approach open, kept that beginner's mindset, kept that flexibility. As of about 6 months ago, I've started really ironing down all of our processes, ironing down all of our templates, because we've tried and tested multiple different approaches, and we now are solidly where we want to be. We understand who we work best with. So I want to solidify that, which is, typically it's the 5 to 50 million revenue companies that have at least 50 plus staff, and probably under 500 to 600 staff. That's where we play, that middle range. I want to solidify that. Then I want to put in a team to help us run that. And then I want to move either to the higher slice or maybe create a few products that will help the smaller businesses. And I'm still of two minds about that. And so is my husband.
Why? What do you mean of two minds? That means like you're still in between?
We're still in between. Doesn't mean we can't do both. I think the game is played very differently when you go above the 50 million revenue and
Yes, I'm pretty sure
600 staff. So that would probably create a lot of growth for us as consultants. So because it is the harder choice, it's probably the right one.
Yeah. That's the way that works.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
The other option would be, because we know a lot, to try and simplify and streamline to create products to help the medium and smaller businesses, which is something we can put in place for sure. But then I guess we're already thinking about the next businesses. So obviously we're seeing a lot of technology. We're having a lot of ideas, how it could be done better. My husband being a developer himself. So it's got the itch to go back.
Of course. Man, you guys are something else. Okay, let's talk about entrepreneurship, right? Because
yes,
that's what you are, right? You and your husband. First, let me ask, where you live in Australia, is entrepreneurship like a big growing field right now, or like here?
I feel like my comparison, so my answer would be yes. My comparison was coming from Italy, where Italy is very peculiar. The area where I'm from has a lot of entrepreneurs, but I would say, when I left at least, not young. It's more of a family business being passed down. And it's more industry. So there's a lot of tangible businesses as opposed to intangible businesses. When we came to Australia, for us, it really hit the difference of how many opportunities there were compared to Italy. Italy is gorgeous, good food, great art, all of it. Not so much for starting a business at 20. That's why we moved.
Got it.
And I would say, especially on the Sunshine Coast, which is where I live, there's a really vibrant entrepreneur community. And Brisbane as well, being it's one of the biggest cities in Australia, probably the third, I would say, maybe the third or the fourth. And we're only an hour away from it. So a lot of our networking, a lot of our business connections are in Brisbane, as a matter of fact. So we drive there a few times a week, and we're part of this amazing group of entrepreneurs that do things differently. If that hasn't come across yet, we like different.
Yes, I see.
I'd say Australia is pretty good to entrepreneurs. There's this spirit of, it's very easy to start a business. It's very easy from a admin point of view to open up an ABN and start a business. Obviously, the challenges of entrepreneurship are not the admin ones.
Yep.
As you know.
There's many. So let's talk about those. What do you see? What are some of the challenges that you experience? I mean, I think the one thing that helps people like us is that our partners are with us in this journey.
Yes.
There's a lot of, sometimes it's like, can you go to the other office for a little while? But in most of the time, you have the same problem, right? You're talking about the same problem when you get home. And actually, a lot of the ideas come when we're just talking about a problem over dinner. So what are some of the challenges you guys face as entrepreneurs?
The way I think about this is every challenge is a strength and every strength is a challenge.
Woo!
Right? So
awesome. Yes.
Hard.
I love it. You guys are on it. I love it.
Yeah, you'd see that all the time. Even the fact that it's a blessing that we can do this together and we can support each other. We don't have the classic husband or wife staying at the office late and the other side of the other partner is waiting at home with the kids. We are blessed that we don't have that dynamic. The flip side of that is when there is a problem in the business, when there is a challenge, we're both in it. So one of us needs to take the
high road.
Depends which one is spiraling more. The other one usually goes, okay, I need to be the strong one here.
You're so right. Oh my God. Yes.
Let's see that you do a wife as well, right? Yes.
And but I wouldn't have it any other way. She wasn't an entrepreneur. She was a company person. She is a counselor. So she was working in a lot of big agencies, but she used to come home sometimes crying because She didn't like the job. And I was all business already. I've always been an entrepreneur from very young. And I told her, no, that's it. Let me just open it. Let me just open your place up. She's like, what? I don't know nothing. I got you. Yeah. And that was the place. And we love it. But yeah, there are challenges in that. Challenges that, you know, you don't see if that's not the case, right? Sometimes you can just go home and say, I hate that guy. I can't stand that. You can't say that, you know, if it's your wife or your husband's. Okay, so what do you want to tell businesses so they can take a shot, give you a call, if someone sees that is thinking about this technology side of their business?
The best thing that everybody could do for us, even before they call us, is to listen to this episode and implement what it is that we spoke about. So take the time to assess their business, take the time to figure out what makes the business tick and how you're measuring that. Because there is a lot that one can do just with that. And once that is definitely, if they want some help, we're here. We have, I think we run monthly webinars on LinkedIn. We have a half-day workshop.
How do people get that? How do they get in on that? I'm going in. That's really good.
I'm skipping steps probably. But if you connect with us on LinkedIn, so you can either find via technology, we're in Australia, or connect with me, Valentina Coin, like a coin, like money.
I bet you use that all the time. I would.
Yeah, because everybody tries to spell it Kwan or
yeah,
different ways. Because you never think about that, about names.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think that's the best way, because we do put out some notices before. I think we've got one either at the end of the month or early in April. So we try to do it either towards the end of the month or the beginning of the month, pretty much every month. So LinkedIn is the best place to connect with us.
Anyone can join. Anyone can be part of this.
Yeah, anyone can join. If you're in Australia, definitely we're running in-person events, probably I'd say once a quarter. And we have a half-a-day workshop where it's actually a very funny one that we do at not our own events, but when we're invited at conferences and retreats, we do this really funny half-a-day workshop based on the Guess Who game that pretty much takes us through our framework and shows you how you can eliminate, not people, but problems in your business.
Let me make sure we know that.
Yes, okay, please. Let's put it in the episode notes. But I'd say there's a lot of material online. There's quite a few blog articles as well. So the best thing that a business could do is use all the free material to get themselves ahead. And then, you know, there's challenges, you know, we're all poor on time, or we maybe don't have the right skills in-house to help us. If we're business leaders, we might have a young middle management team that needs a bit of upskilling and they don't quite have the skills yet. And that's also part of, you know, when we do a project, we try to transfer those skills over to the team because that way they are independent when we finish the project.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And AI, you did talk a little bit about AI. How do you, I'm telling you, I'm struggling as an older person that's in a business. I'm struggling, not struggling, but I know I'm supposed to accept it and I'm supposed to use it, but it's so difficult for me. What do you have any tips on that, or
what's the if you don't mind me asking, what's the resistance? What's the challenge? And then I'll answer.
Yeah, good. Look at you. You're the real deal here. Okay. So I think security is one. I'm very worried about that, right? I'm very worried about putting my vision or whatever I'm putting out, putting it somewhere. And why can't somebody grab that, right? They could grab everything else. And I don't see how it could help me. Like some of the things that I do, the processes are not, I am on the spectrum a little bit. So my processes are not the norm, or they're things I have made up. Systems I have made up. So I could be able to work with people because I can't work on some of the same systems. So I don't know how I would even start asking Google or AI, how do I do this better? You know, I don't even know how to do it.
I think those are two very, very valid resistance points. The security one, I definitely wouldn't, ignore. Definitely, I would recommend anybody be smart about what they put into any AI because it is collecting data. Whenever we do use it, full disclosure, we are not we're not on the AI bandwagon. It's going to solve humanity's problem. It's a tool like any other.
A tool. Yes,
it's a tool like any other. And we're at the very beginning. It feels a bit like the internet when it first started. Very slow uptake, but then exponential growth later. So I feel like we're still in the very early stages of AI, and we don't yet feel that we have found in software a company, and there's many out there that we don't know. So I'm not saying it doesn't exist, that has truly embedded AI in a good business case to solve a really good business problem with AI. It's an enhancer. So I use it a lot for brainstorming and getting started on things, because my personality, I like to talk things through. And my husband, bless him, sometimes doesn't want to talk for 3 hours about the same topic.
Got it.
He wants the succinct, summarized version of it. So sometimes I can't. I need to talk it through to someone. And I found that talking it through with an AI at a generic level, without too many details, it actually sparks idea in my brain different from the ones that appear on the screen that give me the starting point to do what I want. So I won't get it to write my content, but I'll say, hey, I'm thinking about writing a piece of content about that. Or this happened the other day in my business and I want to talk about it on LinkedIn. How would you suggest we frame it? And they'll suggest something. And then I'll think, maybe there's like a 5% of what you're saying that I like. And then I'll dig a little bit more into that and it'll give me something. So, okay, well, it's kind of 30% there. Thanks. And then I'll go and build it, because now my juices in my brain, the brain is firing off with ideas. One that I have found that maybe isn't the best AI engine, but it's called Pi, P-I. Mm-hmm. And it's really good because it has a voice function. So you can actually press the little microphone button, and I can talk to it and I go, hey, Pi, how are you today? Listen, this is what I think about doing. What are your thoughts? Or I'll say, hey, imagine you're a really, really good business coach for this and that. So this is usually what I do. I'll tell the AI that they're a business coach or that they're a consultant or they're a marketing expert for this particular business, which is my business. And I'll say, this is a problem that I'm having. Give me a few ideas on how you would solve it and make them as creative and out of the box and as creative and out there as you possibly can. And then if it gives me stock standard answers, which AI does because it recycles information, I'd be like, nah, do better. Give me more.
Wait, you tell her to do better? Do better. Dude, I was going to, that is, you just showed me how to use AI.
Let me know how you go.
No. I swear to you, I didn't get, of course, I'm very literal, right? So I didn't get, I don't know. I didn't get it. What do you ask it? But yeah, I could do that. And I am going to do it. Thank you. Look at you. That's not even what you guys do, but that's great. But it is what you do, right? Organizing these business people in a way that they can use this information. I thank you very much. I'm going to use it. I'm so excited. You have no idea. And I sat there and I hit it and I go, what am I doing? And I walk away. But now that's a great way to do it. You're using it like a soundboard while getting ideas that are out there. Yeah, it's great. All right. So is there anything you want to tell the world about your company that they should know that we haven't discussed?
That's a very, very good question. I love that you're asking that. I think I'd say we do nothing special other than just being curious and let your team or our client's team actually find the answer for themselves. That is something that I wish everybody knew about. It's not about us as consultants coming in with the right answer all the time. Yes, it is sometimes, but it's never the right answer just because we say it. It's the right answer because we say it, and we need to be able to take teams through that journey to actually believe that is the right answer. When we do that, then we've done our job well.
Like that. I really do. I like it a lot because that's what consulting and coaching is, right? That you're not giving them the answer. I'm helping you get there because you used a very important word, belief. if your workforce doesn't believe in what you're doing, it's over before it even starts.
That's it.
If they're not on board.
That's
And how do you get owners to, not owners, I say owners because I'm in the small business space, but the big guys, how do you get them, or ladies, how do you get them to understand that this belief in what they're doing is so important? Because that's one of the things that are separate, right?
That is one of the tricky things. So
Yes.
Multiple answers to that. First answer I'll give is that is part of our selection. That's not right. That is part of our assessment process. When we consider taking on a client, we're actually assessing whether the leadership team or the CEO or the business owner can understand what we're saying when we say the things we say. And if they understand it, but they're not quite ready to believe it, then that's okay. We can work together because it's a process of them understanding it. If they're completely going, no, I just want you to tell me what right technology to buy,
then I'll buy it. That's it.
We have plenty of referrals to other organizations that can do that, and they are a better fit for them. That's just not what they're looking for. To get business owners to understand it, we show them the data, because I guess I try to take the approach of, in as much as I don't like to put people in boxes, there are different personalities that value different things. So I try to assess who do I have in front of me, but I also try to put on the table all 4 of the different pieces. So I put the data in front of them. I put the qualitative lived experience recounts in front of them, and I put the process in front of them. And I also put a little bit of gamification in front of them so that I can attack it from different angles and get them to understand it. And then the third way we do it is simply baked in our process. So even if a business leader says, no, I don't need to, which nobody ever says, but I don't need to get my people aligned and get them to collaborate better. We just need better technology. We'd still say, okay, well, this is the process we follow, and we do this and we do this, and we do interviews and we do workshop sessions, and we get to understand what expertise they have, and we listen to their perspective, and we engage with them at this point, at this point, at this point. And by the end of it, by having done the thing, we can then say, we're actually giving them change management covertly, undercover change management.
You can say that. Yes, you are. Which is a good thing, though. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So for you, it's important that this works. Your quality over just having businesses come to you and say, you want to make sure you can give them the results. If they're not ready for those types of the way you know how to get the results, then that's good. I love it. Yeah. You gotta show that you know what you're doing. Do know what you're doing. I'm actually very impressed because of the way you explained all of it, right? It was simple, but yet educated, and it was very clear. Like, I see what you guys do. So thank you for that. That was good. That was good. Is there anything else you want to add?
Is there anything you would like to add, Julia?
You're such a...
I can see your brain firing off and popping. I love it.
You're such a consultant. I can't ask you a question without getting a question back. That's how you do it. So, okay. So what's the hardest part of owning a business? I want to know. I don't travel, right? At all. I don't like to. So I get every time I do these podcasts and I get somebody about business, I like to really understand business in Australia. Like a person like me with a small business, what is it like over there for business?
I would say there are a lot of rules, but they're based on common sense a lot. So from an admin side of things, I would say yes, lots of rules, but they're very common sense based, so they're easy to follow. From a business community, there is an overwhelming willingness to collaborate and to create some magic together.
Really?
Come across. And also between what you would call competitors. Of course, you have competitors who just keep secrets from each other, and we all want the advantage over our business.
I'm knocking on each other's door saying, this is what I'm doing.
That's it. But I have also seen an openness to share. I am friends with quite a few other consultants that do exactly what we do in a different way, of course, with a different flavor, even for the same industry. And we catch up fairly regularly. We go, whenever we're in the same town, we go for dinner, and there's just an openness to share what's happening with our clients, what's happening in the industry. Because at the end of the day, what we do, you can Google it. It's there.
Yeah,
It's the
all there.
how each of us.
I like that you said
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
secret.
Yes. And so it's I like that you're saying it's collaborative though. That's important. So if you're talking to a young lady or a young man that wants to be in business, I'm just wondering from your side of town, what would you tell them, what skills they need to learn? Where do they start?
I'd say that they probably would have technical skills already in an area. Let's give two answers. If they already have technical skills in a discipline, so maybe they've come from working a few years in a job, they've gained that technical expertise and they go, man, my boss is really doing it wrong. I can do it better myself.
Who doesn't say that, right?
As we all do.
Yes.
I would say actually take the time while you're in that employment to gain better people skills, communication skills, and mindset skills. So that maybe give yourself a year, learn how to communicate with people and learn how to take care of yourself and your own mind and your own personal fortitude, I guess I would say. So give yourself a runway to gain those skills because you clearly already have the technical one, and then go and start a business. If someone wants to start a business and maybe they don't have a specific technical expertise that they are going to base that business on, I would say do a lot of networking and a lot of talking to a lot of people in your area and figure out the patterns. Because by talking to individuals who already have a business, you will find patterns. And when you find patterns, you can find the gaps in those patterns, and then you can develop a business around it.
What? That was great. Okay, wait. So this is like the third time you use a good mindset. You said, right? You said good mindset. What is a good mindset? Let's go there.
What is a good mindset? To me, having a good mindset is the first thing for me is being self-aware, understanding, being able to, which is extremely challenging to do, but being able to be the witness of what is happening as well as the body experiencing what is happening and being able to separate that out. So when a client is unhappy or when I get tax bill or when I get a massive win, yes, I am in my body experiencing the feeling, but I am also the observer sitting over here going, okay, this is what's happening. What can we do? What can we do about it? Let's have our reaction, but then what's our response to that? Because we can't control our reaction, but we can control our response. And that only comes with self-awareness. And the way it used to be for me is at the very beginning, I would have an emotional reaction, have an emotional reaction, and then have an emotional response, then go and do something that I then regretted. And then the awareness would come an hour later or the day after. I did it again. And progressively trying to close the gap of that awareness so that the awareness can follow as closely as possible to the emotional reaction. That to me is good mindset. So yes, there is a positivity. Yes, start your day with a meditation and think positive thoughts. But at the end of the day, mastery over your thoughts is what is going to give you success in life, not just in business, but in life, in relationships, in friendships. And for me personally, my belief is that instinctual reaction is almost impossible to control. So I'm accepting it as it is. And then I'm coming in with the awareness and making a choice to react differently.
I love it. That was good. You're a thinker. And how about fear as an entrepreneur? Do you feel fear ever? Do you get into that space where...
All the time, but you do it anyway.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it. So how do you work with that? Like, how do you deal with it?
I mean, there's a lot of practices that I'm sure you've had a lot of experts talk to in past podcasts that you can use to regulate your nervous system around moments of fear. So first of all, there is that concept of you can only feel an emotion for, 90 seconds, I think it is. So sometimes sounds short, but it's very long.
It is. It becomes very long at some moments. So yeah.
That's it. So fear comes in. I'll notice it. I'll feel it. You're shaking, you're sweating. You've got a boulder in your chest. So there is a moment where I just if I have the opportunity, I'll just sit back and try to really feel it for those 90 seconds. Where is it? What color is it? What shape is it? What texture is it? And that is just a way to trick the brain to keep the brain busy, because the brain wants to be busy. That's the way I think about it. I don't know if it is technically what it is, so that the body can feel it and let it go through. And then I'll do it a few times, and then usually it'll become smaller, or it'll change color, or it'll change shape. And that's, again, just a way to trick the brain to let it go through. And then once I've done that, I will do the practices to get my body to slow down. I used to try, so for example, box breathing.
Box breathing, yes.
Yeah, we know that one. But see, I used to, when I had fear, try to do box breathing straight away. And it never worked. Because my system
not
was
as easy as this.
No, it was too perturbed as a system to allow the box breathing to do its thing. And so I've started doing this I think it's trial and error for everybody, right? You learn all the tools, and then you go, okay, I've got all these ingredients, and someone's telling me that's the recipe, but it doesn't work for me. So maybe let me try to mix different ingredients in different order and see what works. So that's what works for me. First, I have to be there. And then I can try to do box breathing, or, try to give myself a hug, or go for a walk in nature. Australia is beautiful. We have so much nature. So just 10-minute walk in the middle of the trees usually does the trick.
Yeah. I love that, in the middle of the trees. I love that. Yeah, that's good stuff. And how about patterns? I love the patterns. Patterns are I don't know, they're everywhere.
Yes.
And it's like what you said, you could find that gap, you're instantly on top of the game. As soon as you find that, you're more clear than anyone, because everybody else is seeing the same patterns. Even if they're not sitting there thinking about it, they're seeing it. So as soon as you see that, can you talk about that a little bit?
It's and I wonder how to talk about it. Because for me, and I can tell for you as well, it's there. We see it. It's obvious.
All the time. Mm-hmm.
But I have had the experience before of talking to other individuals, and they get it intellectually, but they don't get it. They just get it intellectually.
Yeah, I get it.
So I don't know how to explain it, but to me, a pattern it happens in the subconscious mind when I talk to multiple individuals, and then words jump out that are related to each other. They don't even have to be the same word.
That's correct. That's exactly, you're doing good.
That's it. So you've got to talk to a lot of people. Find the patterns.
So yeah, and you're right. I was trying to cheat here, and because I don't know how to explain it either, but I was trying to get somebody to do it.
Fair enough. I see what you're doing as well.
I was cheating because I tried to explain it. The people around me they just let me. If I'm saying that's a pattern, they just believe me. But yeah, it's not everybody. I think obviously everybody's experiencing it, but it's something you have to pay attention to. All right, I tried, but you did good. You did good, right? Saying there's certain words, even if they're not the same words, they're heading in the same direction, giving the same vision, going. And yeah, I love it. Okay, so how can people get in touch with you?
Yes, best way to get in touch is find us on LinkedIn. That's our platform of choice. So you can either find Via Technology on LinkedIn. We have a lovely green logo because everybody in tech has blue and purple and techie shapes. We don't like techie shapes. We're nice and soft and green. So Via Technology on LinkedIn. I would love to connect. If you want to connect with me as well, I would love to. The name is Valentina Coin. Coin like a coin, like money.
Get that money.
Like money. It's such a taboo, right? But
yeah, it is, but it shouldn't be.
I mean, we all want it. It's best to connect with us.
I'm gonna connect on LinkedIn because I am interested in the groups, the workshop, even if it's one or two. I wanna hear what you obviously know what you're talking about. Well, listen, thank you for joining me. You are a joy all the way from Australia. I am so happy you talked to me too. You gave us some really good stuff, believe it or not. Well, I know you know it. You know that.
I love hearing it. Please keep saying.
Yeah, you know what you're doing. You have amazing confidence in the space. I mean, yeah, people that are looking at that, place of their business should definitely go to you, at least to see what you're doing, because you have a lot of good answers. I love it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so powerful. I love your mindset. Keep it going.
Thank you for having me, Julio, and right back at you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, okay?